This is the End Zone. Let's move the chains. Today we're talking about, should Justin Fields play in the spring? Now, obviously, this all depends on if the Big Ten will play in the spring. We're assuming that they will. And the big question is, should a player like Justin Fields, that high-profile player, risk playing in the spring because he cannot play in the fall? Now, we already know he has a high first-round grade. He has everything to lose, and in my opinion, there is really no point to playing in the spring if there is a spring football season. Now, people are going to be out there and say, oh, but he loves his school, he loves the game, he's a great athlete, he'll play in the spring and then turn around and be fine for the NFL draft and season. But I'm sorry. That's not really realistic, and it's not fair to Justin Fields, and it's not really how it works, especially for the quarterback position. Now, let me preface by saying this. Draft scouts in the NFL are very picky, and the NFL is way faster for quarterbacks. Let me tell you something, it's very rare for a quarterback to come out of college and have nothing to improve on. And the spring is the time when they work the hardest. They need to see improvement, and he needs to be NFL ready. If he plays in the spring, he loses a lot of that. I mean, that's why you see guys like Tua go to people like Trent Dilfer before the draft, or a handful of the top quarterback prospects train with Jordan Palmer. The NFL is just different. You can't go straight from college to the NFL without any prep, because there are a lot of little things. In the off-season, between college football in the fall, and between the NFL draft and the NFL combine, is a time when these quarterbacks make the most improvement. Now, in what sport do you play that doesn't require you to improve or change the way you play in the off-season? None. I can't think of any. And being a quarterback is an art. There are tons of little nuances like mechanics, reading coverages, knowing plays, and much, much more. No piece of art is perfect before entering the draft. No quarterback is flawless, not even Trevor Lawrence, not even Joe Burrow, not even any of the quarterbacks drafted. People are downplaying the importance of improving before the combine and before the NFL season. In my opinion, Justin Fields doesn't need to play in the spring. He has nothing to prove. Technically, he has nothing to prove this season, even if they did play in the fall. He has everything to lose. Say he gets injured. He has less recovery time. Say Tua played in the spring. If Tua played in the spring, the injury concerns would be much worrisome because of that short time span. And at this point, if the Big Ten plays, say they play 8 games or whatever, tape is pointless. We already know what he can do. Life sucks sometimes. His college career didn't end like a fairy tale, but it's time to move on. The NFL is much harder and much faster than college football. I don't care who you are, you need to improve for the NFL draft and for the NFL season. And I think that Justin Fields will make the right decision. A lot of these quarterbacks, if they are playing in the spring and if they're trying to go to the NFL draft and they have that locked down, they have a position that they're comfortable with, locked down, a draft grade, I don't see why they would ever play in the spring. I'd love to know your opinions down below. Thanks for watching the End Zone. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we can move the chains.